business besties, it's Carmen, and guess what? I am back with another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about doing your sleepover party setups in Airbnbs, hotels, and I put condos. Why would I put condos? Anyway. All right, guys, it's Carmen, and I'm back with another video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and check out my Etsy store if you have not. Anyway, you know how I like to do. I like to jump straight into my videos, so let's go. Before we start, I'm gonna start with a story time, and let's talk about some setups that I have had in some Airbnbs. The funniest one was it was a girl having her daughter I think it was her 8th birthday sleepover party. She wanted the Disney Wish theme, so I did a Wish inspired party. And what was so funny about this, it was at an Airbnb. I did not realize that until I got there. So the owner was at the house. I think that is very strange. I wouldn't do it. People are crazy. You know, there's no way. So when I get there, there is a backdrop on the wall, and it says happy 81st birthday. Here it is, y'all. But pause the story. I'm sorry. Let me show y'all how I use Canva to remove that from my photos. That's sweet, right? Anyway, so there are balloons everywhere in like pairs of 3. And they are like, you know, if you do balloons for your business, I hope that you are making round balloons, and you do that by just letting the air out anyway. But there are the big, you know, normal shape, crazy looking balloons in these pairs of 3 in these random colors. And I'm like, what is going on? So I asked the girl who booked the sleepover, I said, hey, did you do the decorations? She was like, girl, no, the Airbnb owner did them. But I told her I was having, you know, a birthday party, and whew, child, I just thought that was so strange. And the living room was small. I took some pictures to show my assistants how small it was because they were both at graduation parties, but it was just a mess. There's no way I would have a party with the owner down in the basement. The next story is I booked a guy to have his daughter's a sleepover. It was in an Airbnb. It was 5:00 p.m. and we get there and we are pulling up with the cleaners. Yes, the Airbnb was not ready. It was not clean. It was a mess, y'all. So I had my 2 assistants with me because we wanted to get through this fast because nobody wanted to be, you know, setting up this party late on a Saturday. So what we did was the cleaners allowed us to go ahead and come in. I had them clean up the 2 rooms we were going to be in, which was like the living room and the dining room area. And we went ahead and set up. The only thing was there were like ants in the Airbnb, like hella ants. It was crazy. It just wasn't a very clean one. And I just kind of was like, you know what? We just going to do this. We're going to leave. We're going to come back and get the stuff and disinfect and do what we normally do. So those were my 2 stories, crazy Airbnb stories. But let's talk about setting up in like high-rise condos. That's why I have that in the title. I'm gonna have to cut that part out. Anyway, high-rise condos, Airbnbs, and hotels. We're gonna talk about the pros first. The first pro is people who have limited space may want to set up in Airbnbs or hotels, and that is why they do that. The next pro is people who just don't want to have parties at their house, they can use the Airbnb. Now, my list of cons is way longer, and here it is. Number 1 is the check-in times. Check-in times for hotels and Airbnbs typically are later in the day. For me personally, I want my setups to be done by about 1 or 2. I don't want to be starting by 1 or 2. And then to find weekend help, you know, for those of you who are using your children or your family, that's one thing. But I am not. I am using adults who have lives, and they don't want to be out here setting up stuff after 3, you know, so that is a con. Next is the space. Hotel rooms are small, and my beds are huge. So most of the time you're only gonna fit so many in one space. So the space is just too small and there's too much furniture. Next is the parking. If you're at a hotel or sometimes even Airbnbs that are like maybe in a downtown area, the parking is gonna be horrid. And who wants to lug all those pillows, all those beds and blankets, you know, across parking lots? It's just inconvenient. Next is if it's a hotel, it's all the like time it takes to get to a room. You know, you might be on the 10th floor, you got to take all your stuff in the elevator, you might have to make 2 or 3 trips. It's just, again, very inconvenient in my opinion. I talked about the pros, I talked about the cons, and I gave you a story time. Let's talk about some solutions to having a party in an Airbnb or a hotel. First solution is you charge an extra fee to have the parties at the locations for the inconvenience. If your customer understands, they understand. You know the little saying, the girls who get it. The girls who don't, oh well. So that fee can be anywhere from $50 to $150. You decide it and you implement that. My next suggestion is to partner with venues or different people who have spaces like sports facilities or rec centers and community centers to have your events in those spaces. And another thing is certain like private owned spaces, you may be able to leave your business cards or a flyer or some sort of poster if you guys are collaborating. Those sort of spaces, you may still have to get in later depending on what type of business it is, because they may be in use on Saturdays. But at least, you know, it's not an Airbnb where you have to worry about, is it clean? Or it's not a hotel where you have to worry about the space and the sizes of your. And then my last and final solution is to simply not do hotels, high-rise condos, or Airbnbs. This was probably a fast video, but I thank you so much for watching. If you made it to this point, make sure you like, subscribe, and check out some other videos. Peace.